our sessions. Yes. So good evening, everyone. Yes, and we are good to go for this second book that is of the Navchetna module, that is for the senior level, that is 9th, 10th, and 11th standards. Okay. So overview for the teachers, as you can see, like overview for the teachers is almost the same what we have covered in the module one. Okay, so you have both the modules, you have the printed formats or you have the PDF format. You can just have a look, almost same. Okay, so I will just be showing you the slides and we'll go ahead with that. Okay, so this training module, this is all what we have already covered. Okay, so background, okay, all this introduction, everything has been already covered. Yes. Okay. 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 So background, what are life skills? Okay. What is school drug education? This we have already covered. What is the role of schools in drug prevention and awareness? We have already covered in module one. Okay. And then what is unlikely to work with drug education in schools? That also we have covered. Okay. What are the principles of school education? The 12 principles that we have seen. Okay. Those are also there and we have already covered. Okay, so these are the 12 principles that I was talking about. Recommended terms to use and to avoid. Okay, what needs to be used and what needs to be avoided. So you can see those are also same. This chart is also same. Okay, so what are the terms to use? Drug use instead of drug abuse. So like this kind of things. Okay, then we have best to avoid drug use disclosures in the school setting. We have seen that why we need to avoid. You can go through this theory part. Okay, interrupt and protect a school student that is disclosing their drug use among other students. So why we need to do, everything is given over there. Steps to be taken when personal concerns of a students are raised. If someone raises some concerns or someone's friend, okay, in the school, then you just need to take certain steps and those are given here. Okay, so materials required, we have discussed. Again, I'm repeating. Okay, so there is nothing, you just require the blackboard, some kinds of pieces of paper, the charts that you, those are given. You can have it printed or you can just write it or make it on a bigger sheet. Okay, that the mostly like you use it for decoration and all those kinds of bigger sheets you can use. You must have seen in the sessions like how they hide it, and once the session comes, then you can just put it up and you can show it off to the students. So it's very easy and you don't require anything else. No projector, nothing of that sort is required. Okay, so these are the materials, those are required. Notes for the teacher, everything we have covered about this. Okay, what is the role of schools in drug prevention and awareness? We have seen the definition of the drug also. Okay, so this is about this book. Okay, so what is the in this book? Module 1 is about managing the peer pressure. Module 2 is about managing the emotions, and module 3 is about recognizing and handling violence. So these are the three modules that we'll be covering. Understanding peer pressure, under the peer pressure, learning how to say no, and all those things. Okay, so then we have next module, that is the basic drug education. Okay, that is part 2 actually. So we have seen part 1, what is drug and all those things. Okay, so part 2 here also, title basic drug education will be there, part 2. So part 1 will be a little bit common. Part 2 will have cannabis and opioids. Okay, part 1 will have like alcohol, we have already seen, tobacco we have already seen. Okay, volatile substances we have already seen. So this is common. This part is only common. Okay, so we can have like, we can just club it up and we can skip it and we'll go to the part 2, not an issue, but we'll go step by step. Okay, so part 2 is having learning about cannabis, learning about opioids. Okay, learning about sedatives, learning about cough mixtures. Okay, dealing with different drug use situations, drug quiz, and that what you learn about drugs, that is what it is. Module 6 is on basics drug education information session for the parents particularly and family members. Okay, so this is the what is like India drug context, then what is drug. So we'll be telling them in terms of in a different way. Okay, so licit and illicit, again, the same information. Family factors for drug prevention, like what are those family factors? Why do people use drugs? That is the most important question that is addressed there. How can I tell if someone is possibly using drugs? So that is what we'll be covering. Suspecting your child is using drugs and not sure what to say or do, and getting the support. So this is going to be an important section. That is the last module. Okay, so here there are 6 modules all put together. Module 1 is managing peer pressure. So module 2 is about managing emotions. Module 3 is about recognizing and handling violence. And module 4 is the basic drug part 1, that what we have seen. And module 5 is about the part 2. Okay, that I told about. And module 6 is about the parents. Okay, clear everyone? So these are the module 6 that we will be covering here in every day. Okay, day as we progress. So today we will be doing module 1. Okay, then tomorrow, on Sunday we'll be doing module 2 and module 3. Understand everyone? And from Monday we will be starting with the drug education. So it is going to be like that. Clear everyone? Am I on the same page? You people are on the same page. Yes. Okay. Thank you. So time management, we need to ensure we need to keep our eyes on the clock. That's what is required. Okay. Use the book when delivering the module in the classroom. Those are the instructions that we need to follow. So let's start with our first module, that is managing peer pressure. Okay. So managing peer pressure. This is the module 1. Okay. So adolescence is a period of rapid physical, emotional, sexual, and social changes. Adolescents form strong bonds with their friends or peers and are strongly influenced by them. While peer influence may motivate adolescents to get involved into activities that have positive outcomes while studying better or volunteering, it may also lead to indulging in negative behaviors like substance use or criminal activities. Adolescents are better served by having friends that are loyal, caring, supportive, dependable, rather than seeking friends with those who are popular yet lack commitment and trustworthiness. As adolescents grow in age, they need to learn life skills involving refusal skills when addressing issues of peer pressure, to deal with situations that may have negative outcomes. So how they can address the peer pressure when dealing with negative outcomes. Okay, situations which may lead to negative outcomes. That's what it means. Okay, so managing peer pressure. So what are the objectives? By the end of this session, students will be able to understand the meaning of peers and of the various ways peers can influence adolescents' social development, to appreciate the importance and positive impact of real friends. Third, to have the capacity to identify some situations where positive and negative peer pressure can be experienced. Fourth, to learn ways to say no and resist negative peer pressure. Fifth, to conduct and apply refusal skills in role play situations. Those are the objectives of this module, and you'll be learning that. Okay, so life skills used are self-awareness, critical thinking, effective communication, decision making, and building positive relations. Additional materials required for the teacher, you can say, like, to save the time, teacher can in various topics prepare in advance, writing up some sections of information text on large pieces of paper. These can be taped on the wall or board when required and appropriate. So we have seen that. So advanced preparation required for teachers is draw and fill the chart of methods of saying no on the board where the class when before the class begins. Alternately, prepare a poster or a chart beforehand. So prepare a chart or poster outlining the ways to resist peer pressure. So you need to prepare all these charts. Okay, so you will see it in the practical, what are those charts and how we'll be seeing those also. First session, understanding peer pressure. Okay, brainstorming, teacher greets the students, informs them of an activity that will be conducted as to how to manage peer pressure. Teacher announces the word peer and proceeds to ask the students what this word means to them. Teacher writes the responses by the students on the board. After several students provides their understanding of the meaning of the word peer, the teacher reads aloud the definition of the term. Okay, so peer is a person who shares either the same age, same social position, or ability as other people in a group. Okay, so a peer is a person who shares either the same age, social position, or ability as other people in the group. Understand, everyone? So that is the definition of peer. So after defining the word peer, the teacher asked the students to give some examples of the way adolescents are influenced by their peers. Okay, teacher writes some of the responses by the students on the board. Note for the teacher, while writing the information, the responses, the teacher may use keywords instead of full sentences. Okay, so to like avoid time, like spending much more time writing the entire sentence, just avoid, or in short forms also. Okay, so that's how you need to do. Adolescents are influenced by their peers in a number of ways. Some of these include as follows. Okay, way of dressing, what is fashionable and what is not, hairstyles, eating habits, ways of behavior, how to talk, types of social activities, selecting favorite singers, movie stars, and musicians. So you'll find that. So depending on this, like they are influenced to select a career. So first session, this is activities of 10 minutes. Okay, so it's a case study. So Samir, Ali, Deepak, Anita and Monu are friends. They study in the same school. Anita is Deepak's sister. One day, they all go to the market and to buy things as the festival time is approaching. The market is very crowded. While Anita is looking at some purses, Samir decides to steal a pair of sunglasses from one of the shops. He tries to convince Deepak and Ali to join him and wants them to distract the shopkeeper while he steals a pair of sunglasses. He tells Monu to stand guard while he steals. Monu agrees but says that he will run off if Samir gets caught. Ali tries to discourage Samir from going ahead with his plan and tells him that this kind of behavior is not desirable. It may even land him in police custody. Anita points out the CCTV cameras installed on the are all around the market. Deepak says that we should support our friends, come what may. Ali walks away in frustration. Monu stands guard. Deepak engages the shopkeeper. Anita is at a nearby shop buying a purse. Samir is getting ready to steal. Teacher conducts a short discussion based on the following questions found below. In case the study, in the case study that was read out, what do you think are the real friends of Samir and why? So teacher asks, like she tells about the case study and she asks, like, who do you think are the real friends of the Samir and why? Okay, whether it was Ali, whether it was, so she will ask all those kinds of questions. So what do you believe are the characteristics of real friends in this case study? So what are the characteristics? The one who was guarding, or the one who frustrated and went ahead and warned him that police will be coming, and what the teacher writes down some of the responses on the board. Teacher concludes the activity by emphasizing the characteristics of real friends are outlined in the note for the teacher as found below. So some characteristics of real friend are as follows: trustworthy, treats you as an equal, respects your point of view, yet can also point out your mistakes, provides help, remains loyal, and will stand by you in difficult times, will admit their own mistakes, appreciate the friend, and will inform others of this appreciation both privately and in public. Honesty, dependable. So all these are some of the characteristics of the real friends that the teacher notes on. Short discussion. Teacher starts a short discussion by asking whether the students have had experience of feeling pressure by their friends or not. Note for the teacher. When doing this activity, it is important to clarify that you do not want students to share or discuss any topics that include drug use, sexual misconduct, or criminal activities. This may be self-incriminating for the student as well as increasing undesirable interest of other students. Okay, so we need to avoid these kinds of discussions. So we should stick to certain things like, okay, want to go to a movie, bunk the class, like this kind of examples would be more suitable and adequate. Teacher provides examples of possible situations where student can be pressured by their peers to do some positive or indulge in a undesirable behavior that they could not refuse. Okay, the teacher then draws a vertical line on the board and writes examples of positive pressure on the left side of the line and the examples of negative pressure on the right side of the line. The teacher will draw the chart below on the board with these examples. Okay, so examples of positive pressure are like joining us joining a study coaching center, like please join on where I have joined. So that is a kind of a positive pressure. Going to the gym, volunteering at a social services organization, placing all rubbish in bins, respecting elders. Okay, some of the examples of the negative pressures are like fighting with your siblings, lying to parents, missing school classes, not returning a borrowed item. Okay, making a fun of someone with disability. So these are some of the negative pressures. Okay, so teacher informs students that positive peer pressure motivates and encourages individuals to become better individuals, while negative peer pressure can cause stress, confusion, and inability to take correct decisions. Okay, so you can go ahead with all these things. We'll just skip up and we'll go to the video directly. Okay, so just give me a second.
What are drugs?
Cure for medical purposes.
If it's an unhealthy habit, it's going to be handling and understanding emotions.
And what is peer pressure? What violence actually means?
Violence is meant to bully someone.
Navchetna, a new consciousness on life skills and drug education for school children. Objectives. By the end of the session, students will be able, first, to understand the meaning of peers and of the various ways peers can influence adolescent social development. Second, to appreciate the importance and positive impact of real friends. Third, to have the capacity to identify some situations where positive and negative peer pressure can be experienced. Fourth, to learn ways to say no and resist negative peer pressure. Fifth, to conduct and apply refusal skills in role-play situations.
Good afternoon, students. Please sit. Please sit. So today we are going to be doing, conducting a session which is called peer pressure. And in order to understand what is peer pressure, let's first discuss the word peer. What does the word peer mean to you? Can anyone tell? You can raise your hand and we'll go one by one. Please.
Peer means your friend.
Okay, peer means your friend, right?
Ma'am, your age group, friend circle.
Your age group, friend circle. Very right, absolutely right.
The people with which we hangs out.
Yes, the people with whom you hang out, yes.
A friend of yours who or a person of your age group whom you spend time with and feel happy with.
Oh yes, someone that you spend your time with, who you feel happy with, who is your age group. And when you spend time, you could be spending time in studying, in playing, you could be spending time in just about, doing anything. Sometimes you spend time with your friends to cook, to do some art and craft activities. Sometimes you spend time with your friends for entertainment. So that's your peer group, okay? So a peer is a person who shares either the same age, social position, or the ability as the other people in a group, which means you have similar characteristics in terms of age, social economic class, and you also have similar likes and dislikes. Okay, that is a peer. So as you said, we can go one by one and you can quickly keep giving me words that describe the meaning of peer. So some of you said same age, right? What else did you say? Same activity. That could be study, that could be eating. What else? You said hanging out, hang out. That means doing social activities. What else do you do with your peers?
Play.
Play, okay, yes, you play. And what all can you play? You can play indoor games, you can play outdoor games, cricket and football. I'm sure you are all playing with your friends, right? Anything else that you do with your friends? Anything else? Yes, please.
Ma'am, discuss about our class activities and what are we going to do, or what if we are in high school, we are going to think that what next stream we are going to take in 11th.
Okay, so you discuss your career options, career goals with your peers. Anything else?
Ma'am, sometimes we discuss our feelings with our peers.
Yes, very important. You discuss your feelings. You discuss your likes, your dislikes. You discuss, something that has happened with you during the day, something that may be happy, or it may be something that makes you upset or sad also. So, what do you think? How do you think the peer group influences us, or makes us do certain things, or you like to copy and emulate some of the things that the peer group does?
Ma'am, people whom with hang out, they make social account. Then we also make social accounts. Also, if they are playing a certain game which we don't like, but they are playing it always, so we will also try. Let's try out this game. So, ma'am, this is how we get influenced by them.
Okay, very right. So, how many of you feel the same way as he has just described? That yes, you can raise your hands. How many of you agree with him? Yes, so all of you feel that the people that you hang out with, they influence your choice of whether it is using social media or doing certain things on social media also. Yes, you want to say something?
If a person we hang out with gets something new which catches our interest, we also ask for the same thing from our parents.
Just like we also bought shoes. To see them, they also bought expensive shoes.
If our peer goes out somewhere for a vacation to a place that we also want to, we also tell our parents that we want to go there as well and try to convince them to take us there.
Okay, so peer influence can be something which can be very strong, and peer influence can really make us sometimes act in certain ways that may be good, and at other times there may be ways which may not be very good. So now I'm just going to go to the board and I'm going to write all the points that you have just shared, and in case you think of more points, you can keep telling me. I'll put them on the board. Okay. So we are now talking about peer influence. Okay. And as you said, your peers can influence the kind of activities that you do. Peers can also influence the kind of clothes you wear. Peers can also influence your behavior. If one of your friends is, angry at someone, you will also, and says don't talk to him or her, you will also behave the same way. Okay, so peers can influence your behavior. What else can peers influence? Please.
Peers can influence our choices we make.
Choices, yes. So can you give an example, please?
Yes, ma'am, if we want to choose a stream after 10th, in 11th we are going for, and if our peer chooses a stream which we don't like, but he will influence us to choose that same stream.
But if you are very clear, will you, of your choice, will you let the peer influence you or no? Yes, because it's your career, it's your choice. But yes, peers do influence your choice of careers. I'm taking science, you are not my good friend, you are leaving me, why are you taking commerce, why are you taking arts? Or it could be the other way around, any subject streams. Fine. So that's a very important example, because peers do influence not just your choice of career, but your studies in general. So if you have a test tomorrow and your friend says, oh, don't study, it's okay, it is only a class test, not many marks, let's go and play. What if, even if we get some, less marks, it doesn't matter. Will you be influenced? So some of us will be influenced, let's be truthful, and some of us will not be influenced, right? And it depends on the circumstances. So if it is a test and ma'am has said, okay, these marks will not be counted, it is only a practice test, then you might think differently. But if your teacher has said very clearly that these marks are important, these will be counted, so even if your friend keeps saying, please, 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 let's go and play, you will say, no, I will first finish my preparation for the test and then I will come and play. So let's remember that the influence can be in many different ways. Your clothes, even your hairstyle, as we said, any new accessory. Sometimes your friend gets a new mobile phone or a wristwatch, then also you want to buy that latest style. As I said, your behavior, because if your friends are courteous, helpful, respectful, you will also like to behave in the same manner. But if your friends are having are showing certain behavior which is not very desirable, in order to be part of the group, you might be influenced to behave like them. Yes or no? Have you experienced that sometime? You have? Some of you have experienced that? If your friends are behaving in a certain way, even if you don't want to, but to be part of that peer group, you want to copy the same, or you have to copy the same. So we will be talking about how to deal with these kind of influences. But before we move on to discussing the influence in a little more detail, I would like to tell you a story. So this is a story of 5 friends. Okay? Who are the friends? Sameer, Ali, Deepak, Anita and Monu. So there are 5 friends, Sameer, Ali, Deepak, Anita and Monu. They are very good friends. They study in the same school, and Anita is Deepak's sister. One day they all go to the market to buy things as there is a festival coming. And they go to the market, they find it very crowded. Anita is shopping for purses. Sameer decides to steal a pair of sunglasses from one of the shops. He tries to convince Deepak and Ali to join him, and he wants them to distract the shopkeeper while he steals the sunglasses. So he tells Monu to stand guard while he steals. Monu agrees, but says that he will run off if Sameer gets caught, right? Ali is trying to make him understand that this behavior is not desirable and that it can also lead him to go into police custody. Anita also points out the CCTV cameras installed all around the market. Deepak says that we should support our friends, come what may. So Deepak tries to tell her that, look, a good friend is someone who supports another friend under all circumstances, in any situation, good or bad. Monu stands guard, but you remember Monu has said that if somebody catches you, I'm going to run away. Yes. So Monu stands guard and Deepak engages the shopkeeper. So he starts talking to the shopkeeper. And Anita is at the nearby shop, as said, she's also looking at purses. So Anita also is looking at purses and Deepak is trying to engage the shopkeeper in some small talk, and Sameer is getting ready to steal the sunglasses. So this is the story now. It has not ended, but anything can happen at this point in the story. So, listening to this story, now let's try and understand and think a little more, and then share our views about who do you think are Sameer's real friends. There were 5 friends, but who is the real friend? So we'll listen to him first.
Ma'am, Anita is his real friend because she is trying to convince him that it is not good for you and he is also making him learn moral values so that in his later life he can be a good person.
Okay. Anita has also, if you remember, warned him about CCTV cameras, right? You wanted to say something?
Ali is also a good friend because he warned him to not do this.
Yes, Ali is also a good friend because he warned him that this is not right, this is something he should not do, and that it can lead him into getting into police custody and can have even more negative results. So Ali was also a good friend. So if you want to choose a real friend, what should be some of the qualities of that real friend? Yes, please.
Ma'am, a real friend is one who tries to convince us from not doing bad things and doing good things, and if possible he can also make us angry for short time, because if he is trying to convince him, so he is resisting us, so we will become angry, but later on we will understand that he is trying to make good for us.
So these are some good suggestions that he has given, and these are some ways by which you can identify real friends who do not allow you to do wrong things. Anything else? Anyone else would like to add?
Ma'am, be supportive in a bad situations.
Be supportive in bad situations.
Ma'am, who present in our all situations.
A friend who can influence and show both aspects as well as pros and cons in every situation, whether it could be good or bad. So it will be much more better to be influenced in a good way.
Okay, so again here what he is saying is that a person who is able to show you the situation from both sides, good as well as bad, the person can explain to you the consequences. Like we say, show you both the sides of a coin, the heads and the tails, the good and the bad. Anyone else? We had many hands here, please.
Ma'am, good friend, in a good friend there should be a quality that he should always think about your benefits.
Yes, so that's again a very important point, because a friend will always be your well-wisher. So now that we have so many points, I'm just going to write some of them, and in case I still miss some points, please tell me, I will be able to add them. Okay. So we are now writing the characteristics of a real friend, and I will try and write as many points as you have said, and if you want to add, you can let me know. So something that I missed from your list was somebody who is trustworthy. Okay, this is also a very important quality of a good friend. You also mentioned about supportive, but supportive in the right things, you said. Okay. What else? What else did we say? You can raise your hand. Yes.
Ma'am, who has the dare to speak the truth.
Oh yes. The person speaks the truth, and he has that friend has the courage to speak the truth. Sometimes we say things that we think our friends will like, and so we may even tell lies. Oh, you're looking very nice, and you know your friend is not looking nice, there's something wrong with the dress, or something is not matching, or that he's not done very well in the exams, and you are still saying, oh no, your marks are very good. So is that right? No. So it has to be someone who speaks the truth, which will be in the best interest of your friend. Okay, now apart from this, a good friend is always someone who is respectful. I have to respect you, whatever may come. I cannot be thinking that you are not as good as me. I cannot be speaking rudely to you. I cannot be getting angry at you. So I have to respect you. Some of you also talked about being helpful. So being helpful, maybe you help your friend to study, understand a topic which they did not get in class. Maybe you help your friend in learning a new skill. Maybe you teach your friend how to swim. Maybe you teach your friend how to do good bowling in cricket. You may be good at cooking, and you may be teaching your friend how to do how to make a nice new dish, maybe pasta or any new salad. So you can be helpful in making them learn new skills. Some of the other things that you mentioned were that a good friend is dependable, someone that you can depend on, someone, as you said, who you can trust, someone who will speak the truth, someone who is dependable, and someone who is loyal. But loyal and truthful and trustful and dependable in the right way for doing the right things. We mentioned about truth and honesty, that you have a real friend is someone who will be able to give you an honest opinion. Yes, you are looking smart. Yes, your career choice is good. Yes, I am taking arts, but if you like commerce, you go ahead and take commerce. We'll still be friends. So these are some of the things. And one very important characteristic that I feel we should have in ourselves is ability to appreciate. A good friend should also always appreciate the other person, even if it's a small thing. Today, last time you did not do very well in a test, this time you have got better marks. They are not very good, but they are better. At least a friend should appreciate you, learn to appreciate. So this also is a very important characteristic. So tell me something, is there anything else that we should list under the characteristics of a good friend? What else?
So, respect to our friends, because
Yeah.
of if we will give respect, then we will also.
Yes, so we talked about being respectful, and this is related to our behavior in general. So how you behave with your friends, how you respond, how you appreciate, all these are very important characteristics. Okay? So now that we've made this list of certain characteristics of a real friend, now you will all agree that friends have a lot of influence on us. Okay? And sometimes that influence can be good, sometimes it can be bad. Sometimes that influence of our peer group can be positive, sometimes it can be negative. So how many of you have ever felt positive peer pressure when you are influenced to do something good? How many of you have experienced positive peer pressure? Yes.
If a friend get good marks in a class test or in a result, so we also feel like I also can get good marks. And
Yes, so that's a very good example of positive peer pressure, because if one of your friends is getting good marks, you also feel the influence and that friend's influence, and you get motivated to do better and get more marks in your next exam. What could be another an example of a negative peer pressure?
Ma'am, if my friend is bunking the class and I think that today is a test or something else and it's important, but I think if he is bunking the class, then I should also bunk the class. So it's a negative peer pressure which
Absolutely. This is a very good example of a negative peer pressure. So whether a peer pressure or influence on us is positive or negative, the result will actually depend on your reaction to it. So let's move on to now trying to list some examples or situations where this pressure, this peer pressure, the influence on you has been positive, or when the pressure can be negative. So I'm going to make two columns on the board, and on one side we will write positive peer pressure, examples of positive peer pressure, and on the other side we will write examples of negative peer pressure, so that you can see for yourself that how the same pressure can sometimes be positive and can sometimes be negative also. Okay? Let's list them. First we will talk about examples of positive peer pressure. So who will tell me first? Yes, please.
If our friend is doing or taking a training course for
Yeah.
something new technology, and or if he is participating in sport activities, then we will also try to participate like him.
Very good. So these are some very good examples of positive peer pressure, like joining, let's say a coaching class, okay? And because your friend has done, the friend is also has joined the class, him or herself. Therefore, you are also feeling influenced, and you also want to do the same thing. It could be coaching, it could be some tuition, it could be some support classes, and like you said, it could be something, joining some new skill. How else can you give me, what other examples can you give me of positive peer pressure?
Ma'am, it could be pressurizing us for leaving some bad things.
Yes, influencing you to leave bad habits. Like?
Social media. So our friend will tell us to stop these things or to reduce the consumption of these things.
Social media, it could be just phone in general, or it could even be eating something. Let's say junk food, pizzas, burgers, pastries, patties. Okay, so this is a very important point because a good friend will exert pressure on you to leave. This will be positive pressure. Okay, anything else? Come along. Yes, please.
I'm getting good marks in exams.
Yes, studying. And good marks, very important.
Ma'am, their dream.
Yes, so your friend is helping you to influence your dreams. That means your future plans. Job or career, whatever you want to be, what profession you want to be in, very important. Apart from that, yeah, you raised your hand, please.
A good friend can help you to build your confidence.
Yes, a good friend can help you to build confidence. Can you please elaborate this further? How can a good friend help you to build your confidence?
As my friend forced me to host a program or something.
Okay, join, attend a workshop or a training. Okay. Anyone else who has any other suggestions?
A good friend can influence to watch any knowledgeable documentary as well,
Okay.
which can help us in many other ways in our studies too.
So helping you to improve your knowledge. Apart from that, what about your behavior? A good friend will influence your behavior and will influence how you show a respectful attitude towards elders, towards your own peer group, and even your juniors or people who are younger in age than you. So it's not that you have to be respectful only to elders. You have to be respectful to your peer group also. So if you are respectful and you're courteous, your friend circle will also respect you back. If you are respectful and courteous to your juniors or to your younger brothers, sisters and friends, they will also reciprocate and give you the same kind of respect. Apart from that, let's say your habits. These could be, your habits could be related to, let's say, eating certain food, quality of food, healthy food, hygienic food, not eating junk food, or it could be personal hygiene habits of remaining clean and healthy all the time, not dirtying your environment also. So these are some of the ways in which your peers can influence you in a positive manner. So with this, we have a long list of how positive peer pressure can influence you to be a better person. Let's move on to this side now. Let's now take some examples of negative peer pressure. So I'm sure you have listed some and experienced many such situations where you had negative peer pressure around you from your friends. Can you think of examples? You can pick up points from this side.
If our friend is cheating in an online exam, he can also influence us to cheat in that as well.
Very good. So one example is cheating. I'm cheating, it's okay, you also cheat. It's fine. What else?
Ma'am, from the story you tell us, steal anything.
Stealing, yes. Theft. Very good example. Very good.
Just like bad habits.
Yes, bad habits. Can you give an example, please?
I'm smoking, drug abusing.
Okay. So these are some examples, like say smoking or drugs, or even eating junk food. It could be not studying, wasting your time, spending unnecessary amount of time, let's say on social media or on mobile phone, or getting angry and fighting with people. That's also a bad habit. So very good examples, please. Yeah.
Ma'am, one more pressure is that we become demanding. Like if my friend have an iPhone or something more expensive than me, then I demand my parents that I want that thing.
Yes.
So it is also a bad negative peer pressure.
Ma'am, as you told us that the training and coaching means taking some training and taking some coaching. So just like there are so many friends those who told us that what will you do after doing these classes, what will you do after doing these classes, what will you do after study, don't study, come with us and play cricket, play something. So they distract our aim, they distract our goal.
Right. So distracting and, as you said, distracting from your goals. So yes, some friends are like that. They distract you. They don't want you to focus on your studies. They don't want you to focus on your health. So sometimes, let's say, to build your body and to maintain good health, you want to go to the gym. And some of your friends might say, oh, what is the point of going to the gym? You just eat healthy. Look, I'm anyway looking so happy and healthy. You spend 2 hours there, you spend 1 hour. You're spending money on the gym payment also. Don't do it, no need. So that too will be a negative peer pressure for you. Yes.
Bullying a person they hate and make us hate them as well.
Absolutely. So this happens very often, especially in schools, because you tend to form groups, and different groups influence each other, and we bully each other. So bullying is is a very important way in which negative peer pressure can influence a person. So all these points, when you move them to this side of the table, and when someone is asking you not to do these, would be examples of negative peer pressure. One last point, and then we finish this activity. Just last point.
Ma'am, encourage you to use abusive words.
Ah, yes. So if you don't use those abusive words, they will bully you to say you are not part of the group. I'm sure it happens sometimes. But if you say the words and say, oh, he's like us, she's like us, they are part of the group. To be part of our group, you have to behave like this. You have to talk like this. Yes, very important point. So I'm sure you can think of many more examples of peer pressure, both positive and negative. And as young people, you have to learn how to deal with them. Okay? We will now be talking about how to deal with this negative peer pressure.
Okay, just give me a second. Okay, so the second session is, am I audible? Yes, can you just put it? Okay, second session, learning how to say no. So saying techniques for saying no. So like we discussed like how to avoid like negative pressure. So there are techniques for saying no. Teacher refers to the chart pre-written on the board or prepared beforehand. Teacher reads aloud the various techniques for saying no and explains them the appropriate examples. Okay. So here are some of the examples like saying no, method of saying no. Okay. An example of that, those as well. Okay. So the polite refusal. No, thanks. Give a reason. I don't like X. Say beer, smoking, using drugs. Okay. So we have learned in drugs particularly, like you need to use the word I. Okay. So I hope all of you remember that. So be firm. No, thanks. Okay. So you should sound like it. You're saying it very firmly. No, thanks. Okay. So walk away. Say no and walk away. Yes. Can you remember this? What is this everything called as? We discussed that. What is that word for that? Everyone? Yes? Nice. Yes, nice is the word. Oh, good. You all people are very lovely, huh? Yes, you remember. Great. So nice is the word. So nice stands for what? Can any one of you put it in the chat box? Yes, nice stands for what? N stands for saying no firmly to drugs, actually. Okay. And I stands for the I statement. That mention that I don't like. You should have that I. I don't want it. I don't like it. I will not want to go using that I word. C stands for change the place. Change the topic or change the place. Someone has written change the place. Change the topic. Okay. So if the topic is going, you just need to change the topic. And E stands for exit. You just need to walk out of that situation. That is what it is. Great, great. Okay, very good. Fantastic. You all are lovely. So next is like walk away, say no, and walk away after you say it. Cold shoulder, keep going as if you did not hear the person. However, this is not the best approach to use the friend. The best approach is always nice. Okay, so give an alternative. I would rather stay here and watch TV. Okay, reverse the pressure. What did I just tell you? Were you not listening? Okay, so were you listening? Like those kinds of things. The reverse the pressure. That's what it is. Avoid the situation. If you know of people or situation where people will pressure you to do things you don't want to do, then stay away from them. Strength in numbers. Be involved and befriend people who support your decision not to drink alcohol or use drugs, etc. So you just need to involve other people, those who are friend with you and who will support your decision. Own your own feelings and be in control. I'm not comfortable doing this. Okay, it makes me unhappy. Okay, so these are that role-playing situations. So now we go on to the role-playing situation. Before that, I would just like to tell you that whenever you are conducting these sessions, I have mentioned this, that I'm sounding here like I'm just reading because we have time constraint. Okay, so I just need to go and we need to finish it off. But if you're conducting a session, then as you have seen the trainers conducting, you need to be in that tone. You need to maintain that tone of like we are discussing it. It is an interactive way. Okay, not like, okay, I'm just reading out, so you are also reading out. Not, because that will not make that sense. Okay, so it is an interactive session. So it is an also information has to be stored at their level. If I'm reading something aloud, then it needs to like where you need to ensure that you properly take a proper pause where it is required, full stop, comma. You need to ensure this. Okay, so you all are very learned people, experienced people. I know you will be doing that. Okay, so the role playing next session, this is for 15 minutes. Okay, so this is an important exercise. In this activity, the students will act out the following different situations and examine how students would demonstrate different refusal skills. Okay, 1. Teacher selects 3 volunteers to enact the first role play situation. Teacher briefs the students about the situation. Volunteers are provided 2-3 minutes to prepare for the role play. Okay, what is the situation? Being invited to go out without permission during school hours. Use these situations for girls particularly. Okay, so Salma is friendly with a boy in her locality and wants to spend some time with him alone. Her parents do not know about this. She convinces her friends Dolly and Reshma to accompany her for a picnic during school hours to a nearby museum where she can invite her special friend and spend some time with him. Dolly doesn't want to go, but Salma is her best friend. She agrees reluctantly. Reshma wants to refuse, but she doesn't know how to say no. Okay, so this is situation 1. And being pressured to intimidate girls, use this situation for boys. Like the second, like Sandeep, Raju, and Rocky are standing near a park. Group of girls are approaching who want to enter the park for taking a walk. Okay, Sandeep tries to convince his friends to intimidate the girls by blocking their way and passing comments. Raju is hesitant but agrees reluctantly as Sandeep is his best friend. Rocky knows that this behavior is wrong and he doesn't know how to say no. Okay, so these are the 2 situations that we give to we call it. So role playing, the teacher will point out the techniques used to demonstrate the refusal skills. Teacher encourages students to applaud all volunteers for their performances. If time permits, take another situation. For situation 2, the teacher will select another 3 students, okay, 3 volunteers. The teacher will brief the students about the situation. Then volunteers will have 2-3 minutes prepare for the role. So if you are okay with like first situation and if you have time, you can go ahead with the second situation as well. So being invited to a drive underage. Using this situation for boys, Ashu's older brother has bought a new motorcycle, that is a 2-wheeler, okay, which he plans to use for office purpose. Ashu kind of knows how to drive a motorcycle, but does not have license as he's only 16 years old. Most of the people in his village normally ride a cycle. Ashu's two friends who are of the same age want Ashu to take the motorcycle keys from his brother's room. They want to take the motorcycle and have fun on the road and go to a nearby town which is crowded. Ashu is hesitant but unable to say no. Okay. So being pressured to steal money from house, another situation. This can be for girls. Okay. So Rani, Sunita, and Dolly are friends. Rani's sister marriage is coming soon, for which she wants to give her sister an expensive watch. Rani doesn't have enough money for the gift and asks her friends Dolly and Sunita to lend her money. When they say they don't have that much money, that much amount of money with them, Rani asks her friends to steal money from their house and give it to her. She promises to return the amount. Dolly and Rani is her good friend and she wants to help her. Sunita knows that this is wrong but doesn't know how to say no. Okay. So this is the situation, the second situation that you can give it to for the boys and the girls differently. Okay. So motorcycle and stealing the money. So these are the two situations. Okay. What were the earlier situations? Earlier situation was going for picnic. Like her friend wants to meet her, she wants to meet her friend and ask the two to accompany. Okay. And the another one is like they want to intimidate or taunt or use some stop the girls. Okay. So those are the four situations, those are given. So role-playing teacher will point out the techniques used to demonstrate the refusal skills. Teacher encourages the students to applaud all volunteers for their performance. So we need to applaud all the people, those who have come there. And so this way it will go. Okay, clear? So next, ways to resist peer pressure. To conclude the session, the teacher will explain and outline the chart titled Ways to Resist the Pressure. So what are the ways to resist the pressure? So have high self-esteem, strong belief in yourself. And being a psychologist, I really emphasize on this part. Like even if you are seeing kids around or you have adolescent people in your house, okay, or in your relation. So this is the first thing that we should emphasize on, having high self-esteem. That is strong belief in themselves, like yourself. Okay, so this is the first part that is very important. Think about the consequences before you become involved in negative activity with your peers. Next is best to socialize with positive people. Fourth, do not socialize with troublemakers. Fifth, do not be afraid to be different. Okay, so like someone is going towards the negative way, you're not going. So do not be afraid of like being different apart from that group. Okay, so never go against your values and beliefs. So we all give values to our children. Okay, so they should always ensure that they never go against those values, beliefs about good behavior and things, those are considered important. Do not do things you are not comfortable doing just to fit in. Okay, just to fit in that group, or you just want to carry with that group. Do not do that thing. Be yourself. That's the most important part. Okay, clear? Yes. Teacher reminds the students that it is okay to do their own thing and that they do not have to do things that they do not want to do in order to make friends. Teacher concludes the session by stressing to the students that before they do something potentially risky, they should think about the consequences. Okay, so this is the most important one where she will stress on. So it's better to walk alone than with a crowd going in the wrong direction. Do you not feel it's right? Okay, so this is the way that you will be ending the session. Clear, everyone? Okay, so now let's go ahead with the video.
So in the last session, you have talked about peer pressure, positive peer pressure and negative peer pressure. And you must have realized that you can be an influencer and you can not only get influenced, but you can also influence other people in a very positive way. But before you influence other people, you must be able to influence your own self. You should be able to negotiate with your own self. So here we are, there are several methods for saying no. When someone else is putting a lot of peer pressure on you, and you know that it is not in your interest and it is not something that is good for you. So how do you say no? So these are some of the ways, techniques by which you can resist peer pressure, and we are going to discuss these and you will give me examples. For example, how do you refuse somebody by being very polite? Can you give an example?
Ma'am, if our friend is pressurizing us to play online games and our exams are coming, so we can politely say him that I am serious about my exams, so if my preparation will be done, then I will play.
Very good, good. I'll ask you again, because there are some of these which are overlapping. For example, give a reason. So can you give an example of what reason you can give to resist the peer pressure?
Ma'am, we can understand that thing, that how to give a reason. So first of all, we should think about that which type of question our friend is putting to us. And after thinking that questions, we can give a reason very easily. Suppose that if our friend is saying, bro, let's go to play something, we are getting bored, we should tell him that no, our exam is coming, so we have to take more marks. So we have to tell these types of reason to our friends, then he can understand
Good.
very easily.
Have you had this experience in your life when you had to give a reason or you had to politely refuse?
Yeah, ma'am. Once time I was studying, so my friend, he came to me and he was saying to me that, come, let's go to play something. So I was saying that, no, bro, I am just preparing for my test and I have to achieve these types of numbers. So please, after preparation my test, I will be play.
Good, very good. So both of you have given examples from the area of studies. But there are so many other ways in which your friends will be pressurizing you to do things, and you've seen the kind of negative pressures in so many ways. So be firm. That's one way of resisting peer pressure. Somebody puts pressure on you, well, let's go for a picnic or let's go for a movie, and you say, no. You say, no, no, no. So what does it mean? My body language is saying something, no? So my body language tells the other person, communicates to the other person whether I am firm or whether I am undecided. If I am firm, I look into the person's eyes and I say with confidence, no. So you have to be firm to be able to say no. Otherwise, if your friend is very persuasive, then the person knows that this person can be influenced. No? Walk away. I want you to give an example from your own life or from your friends when something like this happened to you, when you were pressurized and you just walked away. Did you have that experience?
Yes, ma'am. Once when I am in class 10th, then I am sitting in my classroom and my friends are with me and they are asking about my teacher and just saying some bad things about him, that he is like that, he just pressure on us and something bad things. And then I just simply stand up and get away from the class.
Very good. Very good concrete example he has given of where in a particular situation he just walked away to be able to deal with the situation. What about showing a cold shoulder? Well, you know what it means? Cold shoulder means not bothering. I'm not bothered. When somebody tried to persuade you, but you did not give, in Hindi we say, bhav dena, you know, that you didn't give any particular importance to what the person was saying.
If our friend is telling us to steal something, we should not care about him and just go from there.
Yes.
And not give an expression.
Yes. So you listen from here and you just don't, as if you've not heard. You don't bother, right? Give an alternative. Your friend is pressurizing you, but you don't want to agree. So you give an alternative. Anything happened to you?
For example, if my friend is influencing me to watch a movie, so I can give him an alternative to, instead of watching a movie, he can read a comic of it. So it can help his reading skills also, and it will feel more connectivity to that particular story or thing.
Good, very good. So instead of just telling the person no, you just give an option to the person. Oh, instead of doing this, why don't we do something else? And you, what else? You have to be very, very clever to say something that will be acceptable by your friend and something which will serve the same purpose. No? Otherwise, the person will not agree. Reverse the pressure. Reverse the pressure, yeah.
Ma'am, if our friend is trying to convince us to use bad words, then we can pressurize him that using bad words is not good and telling him about its side effect, and also that people whom he use bad words with come to me and they tell that he is so bad, don't stay with him because he used bad words. So ma'am, that's how we can reverse.
So, reverse, you know what is the meaning of reverse? Means you turn the other way around. So if somebody is putting pressure on you, you put a pressure back on that person. So if that person is telling you to do something that you don't want to do, you ask the person and give them such a reason that for example, now you said talking about, using bad language. So if your friend is using some bad language for a girl or for another friend, you reverse back and you do the same thing and make that person understand that supposing somebody was to say use the same language for your sister or for your mother, how would you feel? So that the pressure goes on to him from you. Avoid the situation. Give an example of that.
If our friend is bullying someone in the corridor, we should not go from there and take an alternative route to go where we are going.
Right. That's the very easy thing to do, because you're not confronting the person, you're not arguing with the person, you are just avoiding the situation. You just walk away from that, right? So these are some of the methods by which you can resist the peer pressure, and the more aggressive, forceful your friend is, the more pressure they will put, the more confident you are, easier it is for you to resist it. And if you are very vulnerable, means that you will just crack down and you will give in, right? So what we are going to do now, we are going to do a role play. In a role play, you have to play the role of someone who is not you. So you will be given the role, and I am going to read out a situation, right? So this is a situation that I am going to read out. Being pressured to intimidate girls. Sandeep, Raju and Rocky are standing near a park. A group of girls are approaching who want to enter the park for taking a walk. It happens, no? We see this all the time. Sandeep tries to convince his friends to intimidate the girls by blocking their way and passing comments. This also happens? Happens or not? Yes, it happens. Raju's hesitant but agrees reluctantly, because he is one of those who is not able to resist pressure. As Sandeep is his best friend, because sometimes friends feel that they have to be with other friends, whether they are doing good or bad, they have to go along with them. Rocky knows that this behavior is wrong, so he is not able to join them, right? Now this is a situation. I want 3 boys to volunteer to do a role play. So one will be Sandeep, one will be Raju, and one will be Rocky. So who are the 3 volunteers? Now these 3 boys are going to do this role play. What is your name?
My name is Prakhar.
Prakhar, in the role play you will not be Prakhar. You will either be Raju, Sandeep or Rocky. That you 3 of you can decide amongst yourself depending on what role you are going to play. And then once you've decided, put this on like this and write your name, the name, not your real name, but your role player's name.
Raju, look at those girls. Let's go block their way and disturb them. What do you think?
I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think they are also girls. They have the right to walk in the park. Then why should we block their way?
If you are not gonna do this, I will not be your friend.
Okay, if you say this, then as your best friend, I am with you.
What do you think, Rocky?
I also think this is not appropriate. You should not do this.
What the things you are talking about? If you are not gonna do this, I'm not gonna talk. You will be no more my friend.
Think of a situation where your mother or sister is there and you are here, and someone like you is there and blocking their way. How does she feel?
But they are not our sister or mother. Why are you talking like this?
Think of a situation. I am telling you, think of a situation.
I will feel very bad and I am gonna kid that person. But she is not my sister.
So how she feels, you think?
It doesn't depend because she is not my family member.
So if you do this, she also feels some fear and she also feel bad, na?
But we are gonna enjoy. So what is your problem?
Okay, if you do this, I am not gonna part of this, so I am not be your friends.
Okay, you can go now.
That was good performance. So let's ask each one of you how you felt doing this role. Rocky, how did you feel?
I feel very confident and it's a part of a good thing. Stopping my friend to do some bad things, and I feel very good.
You feel good? I think he did a good job. He was trying to resist and he did succeed because he found one of the ways and which one of these did he do? He avoided the situation and he decided to walk away. He said it doesn't matter, friendship or no friendship, he didn't want to be part of this particular activity. So he resisted peer pressure. Let's give him a clap. What about you, Sandeep? You were a very aggressive peer.
I felt very bad in doing this, but means I had to be very aggressive to do the role of Sandeep. And also I had to lose one of my good friends.
Yes, but do you think there are boys like this who are who fit into this character?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So you empathized with them.
Yes, ma'am.
But you don't want to be one of them. No?
No, ma'am.
That's good. He did a good job. What about you, Raju?
Ma'am, I feel that it's not me. Like I have not control on me. I am a part of that. I only know that what my friends say, I just do that thing. I am no any type of control on me that what can I do is good or bad.
Yes.
I just come under the pressure of my friend and do whatever he do and just go with him.
Yes,
and not convince him to do the good thing or bad thing.
Very good. I think this was a very honest admission of his own weaknesses. That he admitted that he is very vulnerable. He can be easily influenced positively or negatively. So it could be either way. And in this case, Sandeep was a negative negative peer pressure. So he resisted. So what does he have to do? He has to be strong. But right now, he played the role very well. Let's give him a hand. Thank you, all three of you. So now I want to find out from all of you how you felt watching this role play. Any observations about how you felt about the different characters?
I felt like Sandeep was doing the wrong thing, but Rocky was in the right, and he shows the quality of a good friend who doesn't support in the wrong thing.
Very good. Well, you saw how he was able to resist negative peer pressure. Good. Any other observation? Yes?
While doing this thing, we should think about that we should always be like Rocky, not be like Sandeep.
Okay, right. Well, Sandeep was playing the role of somebody like that. There are plenty of those kinds in society, and even the arguments that he was giving, that it could be like your sister or mothers who would, we're talking about women, and he was saying, why they're not my sisters or mothers. You don't have to have people related to you by blood to feel that something is right or wrong. You have to be strong and convinced about a cause. What he was doing was not right, and that is what he was trying to convince him, but he was not able to do it very effectively. Any other observation?
Rocky respects of girls and walk away from this situation.
Yes. So walking away from this situation was one way if you don't agree with the person.
Now from the story time we get that at the end Rocky just left the way, and he didn't went with his friend, but he left the way. But ma'am, who will stop these kind of boys, and how will these kind of boys stop themselves from doing these bad things?
Well, that's a very good question. What you're talking about is when you look at the problem, then you try to identify what are the causes of that problems, and then if you become active in not being a part of the problem, but trying to find a way out and becoming like, a positive influence, for which you have to have very strong conviction and self-confidence, and that is what we are going to talk about now, and that is how we will end it. There are different ways to resist peer pressure. One most important is you have to have high self-esteem. If you don't think high of yourself, then you cannot influence the other person. Think about the consequences before being involved in the activity. Can anybody explain this?
We should always think about the things that can happen from our actions, and always take them in account before doing something wrong.
Right, right. So even in the case study which you did earlier, and even in this situation, we know that certain antisocial activities are punishable by law. So if you are harassing women and girls, then you know that the consequences are going to be bad. So you have to know the consequences, and that helps you to become strong. Best to socialize with positive people. Can anybody explain that? Yes?
Ma'am, we must create a category of people who are our real friends, and some people whom we hang out with are just our playmates, but we think that they are friends, and we give too much importance to them, so we are involved in bad activities.
Very good. So that answers the question that you have, that what do? Do we close our eyes and just say let things happen the way they are happening? No. We need to be part of a group. We need to be involved in activities with people who have positive thinking. They are positive people, and they can have positive influence on others. Do not socialize with troublemakers. So troublemakers, this is what Rocky did. So, if you are going to be associating with troublemakers, sooner or later, you will get into trouble. Do not be afraid to be different. Sometimes if you are not very confident, then you tend to feel that you have to join the group, to be other people, and otherwise you will be isolated, you will become lonely. Don't be afraid. If you have high self-esteem and self-confidence, and if you are right, then you should have the strength to go alone. Never go against your values and beliefs. Can anybody explain this?
Ma'am, if you get any situation in which you are stuck in, like that situation you make through the role play, then just remember about the values and beliefs which your parents told you from your childhood, like like respect girls, respect your elders, and always help poor ones and the needy ones. Then, if anything happens bad with them, then just remember that thing and try to convince your friend to don't do this.
Good. So it's your parents, it's your school, your teachers, your peer group that influences you in making you strong, so that certain values which are good values, you don't, you retain those values even if people are resisting. Do not do things you are not comfortable doing just to fit in. Anybody explain that?
It means you don't have to do something like you have to show someone that you are like or you are abusive. When people say you are not abusive, so you are not in our group, you don't fit in our group.
Right. So in the role play, what did you see?
Sandeep and Raju said you are not fitting in our group, you are not intimidated.
Right, right. Sandeep was exerting a lot of pressure for the other people to be in that group. So if you want to resist peer pressure, don't be afraid and be yourself. Be yourself means be at peace with yourself and have confidence in yourself, high self-esteem, so that you can be confident in influencing others positively and getting influenced by positive people rather the other way around. So we'll end this very good session with a quote: "It's better to walk alone than with the crowd going in the wrong direction. Do what you feel is right."
Okay. Okay. So that brings us to the end of the session. Okay. Just give me a second.